Hello and welcome back to Deus Ex. We are here. We stole this guy's candy bar. He's got a. It's my first day too. We're gonna go report to Manderley, having completed our mission, and yeah, I will, Alex. I'll check in with Manderley in level 2. There's a lot to unpack here. In this, we're in the UNATCO headquarters. This is our base of operations. Yeah, so hope you're all doing well today. UNATCO personnel only. The United Nations something coalition. I don't remember. Did somebody tell me what that was? Damn, I'm looking good. Yeah, because I wear my sunglasses at night, so I can. So I can. Yeah, well, you were stuck here. Yeah, infinite. You could blow that up if you. Well, no. Mr. Manderley will tell me that I'm dumb for killing all those people and talking. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure was. Let's go talk to Manderley first, and then we'll do all the other stuff here, exploring around. Also, I decided this game is super dark. I meant to do this in between things, but we definitely are just gonna crank this up all the way. No, not 0. We want it 1. It helps a little bit. It's just been super dark. Even here, it feels like it shouldn't be as dark as it is. Anyway, Joseph Mandalay. Let's talk to this lady. Let's take this. Imagine when they start giving you your first. They start. Whoa. That's a classic painting, too. I just realized, like a Kincaid. Let's look at this. What's on her desk? This is FYI, your password's Night Killer. I know you led that mission in Paris against the old terrorist organization, whatever it was. Your login is still J Manderley. So we can log in as Manderley, which is interesting. We might do that. Anyway, let's talk to this man. I have opened the mayor. The man himself. Okay, he gave me my. Here he's got a book. Armory. There's a really funny song. I want your candy bar. I need a candy bar. I sing at least one. Let's read some of the stuff he's got in here. Let's see. The UNATCO Handbook. As science progresses at an ever-increasing rate, more and more advanced technology is finding its way into the hands of the common criminal, resulting in a deadly threat to life and property throughout the world. While it is impractical to restrict the free flow of information already present in the public sector, the internet, UNATCO is committed to ensuring that the threat does not go unaddressed. Even now, UNATCO research and development employs some of the most talented scientific minds in the world to develop proprietary technologies and absolute security for field use by our agents, including some innovations such as the XXX and the life-saving. Under no circumstances should agents discuss any piece of equipment or technique currently employed by NATCO. Agents operating contrary to this directive will face immediate disciplinary action. Within our laboratories lies not just the future of law enforcement, but a safe, secure future for all. Document filtered per UNATCO Terror Monitoring Act 919-05, Section 1, Section 4. The newspaper. Boot camp for Betty, APR Portland. Madison High School junior Betty Souza will spend the semester at the Canyon City boot camp, say school officials. The crime? We have verified that she told another student that she knows how to make a bomb, said Principal Martin Gordley. What makes this case notable is that the parents have filed a lawsuit against the school district. Our daughter wears black, said Father Brandon Souza in a prepared statement. She is not a occipital jack, and we let her use it to play games. We allowed her to get a tattoo when she turned 16, but now this makes her a criminal. The parents claim that Betty was discussing a novel by Tom Robbins taught at Madison High when the mention of explosives occurred. Betty Souza will not be alone in Canyon City. Last year, 15,234 young people served sentences in the state's FBI-run Good Behavior Camps, a legacy of the Northwest War. Ha! Ha! Yep. Interesting stuff, right? UNATCO and the police. In carrying out their duties, UNATCO agents often work with other law enforcement agencies. We remain a small, elite organization. Until our ranks expand, we must rely on the cooperation of local police, governments, intelligence agencies, and corporate security divisions. Always be courteous when requesting information or filing an extradition request. As our jurisdiction widens, we inevitably experience conflicts with some local officials. We do not resort to unnecessary intimidation in these situations or report any problems to the appropriate UNATCO liaison. Above all, an international law enforcement body requires the respect and support of all participating nations. Let's say something for a minute about this. It's also got like this thing here. Yeah, I can't do anything with that. What's the book on his desk? Let's just... Project Dubbit. Domination SF5F clearance only. The noted failure of the previous attempts to create low-profile rotary aircraft involved the acquisition and retrofitting of available military hardware that had neither the range, stealing, or electromagnetic transparency to avoid numerous eyewitness accounts or unauthorized military interactions. In addition to exacerbating public misconceptions about the governmental operations of such encounters, also jeopardized several key missions. Project Divic was initiated to address the issue through creation of a stealth aircraft that could be used as a platform and a number of mission objectives. That's just kind of a thing, but let's talk for a minute about this article. So this is kind of talking about how they have these good faith, good behavior camps for young people. Doesn't that sound novel? Like something... This hasn't happened yet, but they don't go so far with this game as to get into issues of transgender politics, but imagine if Betty Souza was trans in this situation and was, you know, acting like a little more out of her gender norms. And then the FBI run through the government has a camp for these young people to set them on the right path. That sounds like something that could be very possible. It does not make the government sound favorable in any case. And, you know, that's the sort of thing that we're doing. So anyway, let's look around a bit. We're going to explore. I'm not going to talk about too much. I mean, I am going to talk about too much. I'm going to talk about stuff as much as we want because that's the entire point of doing this, is to talk about stuff and to have... Also, I don't know why... I can't put a scope on any of this stuff. Why did I buy that scope from that guy? I don't know. I want it for something for the future, is what I want. He talked to me through the wall earlier, didn't you? Yeah, I just noticed that some of these are like classic arts. I think that's a classic photo. United States Associate NATCO. Yeah. We can't, there is another, I think it might be this, or there's something in one of these things that has very interesting information. So we'll try to get into that, because I want ammo. Actually, is this any of this ammo I even need? It's all crossbow bolts. Yeah, we don't need those. Here's the layout of the something for a mission briefing. Yeah. Let's see what your book here says. UNATCO in the world. For far too long, terrorists have exploited international tensions and regional legislative variations to elude authorities. A significant step was made towards eliminating these legal loopholes when U.S. President Philip Riley Meade lobbied the Congress to make the U.S. an UNATCO member nation. Enough is enough, he declared in this landmark State of the Union address. The citizens of the United States responded with an enthusiastic endorsement of his position. Not only did the United States become a charter member of the UNATCO, but UNATCO headquarters are now located in Liberty Island in the shadow of that shattered monument to freedom. UNATCO deals not only with terrorist threats, but also any transgressions of the international legal code, including drug trafficking, software piracy, and money laundering. With the full support of the United States, UNATCO was the first time able to truly declare itself the world's policeman. So they're just like Interpol, basically. That's what UNATCO is, but it's not that exciting. This is funny here. What's going to happen here? Let's listen in on this conversation. Yes, they do that on purpose. Hey, Gunther, how's it going? Yes, well, let's talk to... Paul. We don't look that much like Paul. So these people are bitter because they're prototype agents that have mechanical implants, not biomechanical. Not like me. That's why they're so snarky towards JC, which is interesting. Anyway, the maintenance man knows you like orange. Here's a public computer terminal. This is what I wanted to get into. This is some stuff that there's some more stuff on here that talks about what the some of the stuff that this game predicted. So this is interesting. Terrorism, crime or conscience. The question must be asked: is the global rise on terrorism a haphazard response to a decimated economy, or is there a pattern? Does UNATCO face coordinated ideological opposition? Some groups, Silhouette in France, for instance, have dedicated a meme war, a war of meanings in their terminology. Memes. The genetic... I don't know, you know. I'm making a Red Metal Gear Solid Rising reference here, though, but memes. The genetic blueprints of our society. Anyway, or whatever. They spread email and pamphlets that lampoon the UN's proposal for a one-world democracy, a tedious exercise of rudimentary propaganda with sophistries and doublespeak. They portray freedom as obedience, democracy as tyranny, and UNATCO as the perpetrator of terrorism, an idea as shocking as it is reprehensible. Other organizations such as the self-proclaimed Revolutionary National Secessionist Forces, NSF in the U.S., claim allegiance to the meme war, but are in fact no better than the common criminals. They desire territory and wealth for the expense of society at large. Their civil war is merely a smokescreen for criminal activity. Any population can quickly be turned against such revolutionaries simply by educating them about the UN's policies and goals. Joseph Manderley, Director, UNATCO. Isn't this interesting stuff? The ideas of freedom as obedience and democracy as tyranny. Threat profiling. Terrorism threat profiling. Symbolic attacks, the Statue of Liberty bombing, the desecration of the Soviet War Memorial in Berlin, the department store shooting sprees in Orchard Road in Singapore, and the recourse of the week. They serve only to call attention to a group of cause that is of no more than marginal interest to the public. But what distinguishes true terrorist activity is its gradual escalation towards genuine acts of war. Fringe groups now have access to technology that allows direct assaults on governments, including the classic trio of nuclear, biological, or chemical weaponry, NBC. But aside from the direct assaults on nation and its people, indirect attacks can cause considerable collateral damage. Rogue software can disrupt financial markets, communications, and military operations with encryption. Programs allow terrorists to coordinate smuggling operations in secret right over the net. Drugs, guns, illegal immigrants, and even heavy equipment such as armored vehicles and cruise missiles are routinely traded across the border, aided and abetted by such software. UNATCO, the first organization with its technology man for authority to cope with such threats, is an idea that is long overdue. Joseph Manderley, Director of UNATCO. Now, isn't this interesting? The idea, this was made, remember again, this game was made in 2000 before the internet was really a major player, but they predicted that this type of stuff, and not necessarily software, because we don't really use software for this stuff, but a lot of this stuff is true that can happen today, that a lot of these things are organized over the internet. Also note that there's such a focus on illegal immigrants here, which has become a major topic in today's society, in today's American democracy. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. And this is all this terrorist outcry is very much, this was made a year before. This game came out a year before 9/11, before the huge push of anti-terrorism, the wave of anti-terrorism stuff that spread across the United States and the Western world. Now, here's a bunch of stuff about these various forces that were the various terrorist organizations. Know your enemy, the NSF. The National Secessionist Forces, NSF, remain a very real and increasingly widespread terrorist threat. 10 years ago, in response to the Sporting Weapons Act of 2042, splinter groups from nearly every state refused to surrender their rifles, grenades, landmines, and other collectibles provided by the act. Unified under the charismatic leadership of Leon Woods, these isolated fanatics eventually formed the NSF, with Woods assuming the rank of general. Their intended goal, the liberation of Washington, Montana, Oregon, and Northern California. While Woods died during his infamous last stand in 2045, his war machine continues what can only be termed as an occupation of the United States, aided an encrypted network by an encrypted network designed by dissident computer scientists from San Francisco and Seattle. Currently, UNATCO Cryptography Division has minimal success in cracking their communications, requiring more direct intelligence gathering techniques to be utilized. The UN has declared war on the NSF. Now, this is one thing that hasn't happened, and I doubt will happen. The idea of there being a Sporting Weapons Act, an act that actually takes away people's guns. I think, as a society, we're going to go in the opposite direction and start arming more people, because either the government will try to take people's guns away in an effort to keep guns out of the hands of people who will oppose the government. We'll see what happens, but this is a very real thing that's happening. But also the idea that states, secessionist forces would be in Montana, Washington, Oregon, and Northern California. That's I think they're implying here that the NSF forces are actually more conservative leaning, because those states and those areas of those states are all generally more conservative, except maybe parts of Washington and Oregon, which is interesting. But that doesn't, which I don't know. This would be kind of, there are a lot of like NRA type people who live in those areas and would be very opposed to the idea of people taking their guns, but it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't really mesh with the overall lyric the overall rhetoric that's going on in the United States right now. Those places would be the places like the bastions of sanity for America, for this great country. I'd be like more like Southern California and like Chicago, New York, and the upper Northeast would be more of the revolutionary parts of the country, I think. Anyway, let's get on to Silhouette. Famous for inserting 20th century style commercials into the net broadcast of the World Cup in 2050, Silhouette favors feats of spectacle over violence. Printed circuits, part of this nutritious breakfast, the announcer told children in one of the World Cup commercials. You ain't mech till you eat mech. A mech boy chews a memory chip. Boys who eat organics get stomped by their post-human classmates. Mech boys in UNATCO helmets and metal boots take turns kicking another boy. Despite their numerous pranks, these intellectuals, artists, and labor organizers pose a serious threat. They are well armed and have been linked to the murders of numerous European politicians and journalists. They will not hesitate to use lethal force. There are always a lot of riots in France. Let's move on to the triads. UNATCO surveillance of Hong Kong is current high priority given the renewed threat of Chinese organized crime in the form of the triads. Despite being a model of prosperity and technological leadership for decades, Hong Kong persists as a haven for organized crime. The triads, namely the Luminous Path and Red Arrow, vie for control of a 10 trillion credit shopping business, much of which supplies Greater Asia with pirated technology, illegal drugs, and weapons. Most of disturbing of all, the triads preach an ethic of techno-piracy that has found enthusiastic support among small shopkeepers and businessmen who often aid the gangsters and buy their bootleg software. Gullible, greedy, this army of middlemen remains insensitive to how the violations of intellectual property and copyright laws damage the global information economy. Doesn't this all sound like propaganda? UNATCO operatives have identified over 1,250 terrorist organizations active in the world today, some too small and currently present as a serious threat, but all eager to see one of the more governments topple. Groups such as the Templars, Europe, and the X-51 Western U.S. will be dealt with in subsequent volumes of Know Your Enemy. So it's interesting that there's no Middle Eastern terrorists called out in this, but you know that I guess they wanted to avoid that. So let's rob another account machine. We don't have a password this time, so we're just going to rob it. Gunther's sitting here watching us do this, and he doesn't care. Let's see, 150 and withdraw, and close before we get shot. So we did a lot of reading. Did I read this? No, we didn't read this yet. This is a sensationalist piece of the Sun, Midnight Sun, which is based on, obviously, the Sun, which was a tabloid. Cape Canaveral, NASA scientists confirmed that the eroded remains of the Alba Patera crater on Mars precisely match the face of President Meade. It's him, declared senior planetary specialist Kevlar Luma. This is nose, the ridge, see the crater and marking his hairline, the way he combs his hair apparently appearing in the ridge and the parallel valleys. The White House had no comment. However, Martin Wisdom, president of the EA, Enemies of Aliens, told Midnight Sun, "This is evidence we've been looking for a warning that Mr. Meade is not human. He's probably a Martian general, war hero, come here to conquer the Earth with the assistance of the United Nations." Ryan Allen, staff writer. So the United Nations being this powerful is, it's kind of a fallacy in today's society too. The United Nations feels like it has no real world power over such entities as the United States and other such things. This chair is in my way. So let's go to JC's office. I think there's more stuff to read. I hope you're enjoying this. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do JCD Bionic Man. Wait, what? There we go. I'm probably not going to read these because these are more like game lore plot. They're not like the stuff we want to talk about. This is from Jaime Reeves, and I'm just going to, this is more stuff. I might leave this up and you can read it yourself. Yeah. Nano augmentation in you. This is some stuff about the nano augmentation stuff. It's not about political stuff or the stuff that I really want to talk about in these videos. And we're already 20 minutes in. We haven't done much except read stuff, and I hope that's okay. But that's the way I wanted to take this. We're taking it slow. We're reading all the articles. We're going to talk about stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to read these. This is, this is all about how JC is the first or the second nano augmented agent, and this is, because such a. Let's read this one. Nano augmented agents will often encounter stress created by resentment among fellow agents, particularly those who have been mechanically augmented. In an effort to secure freedom and liberty for those under the protection of many UNATCO agents have chosen to sacrifice social acceptance for mission performance by surgically replacing limbs and organs with mechanically or electronically enhanced equivalents. But your nano augmentations point the way to the future. Thousands of microscopic living organic machines exist in the symbiosis of your body. Because such augmentations create only minimal disfigurement, they are likely to be a source of friction between you and the other mechanically augmented agents. But it is important to understand that UNATCO is an organization where individuals are in concert, each important to the whole, and mutual understanding is essential to teams comprised of diverse human and augmented agents. If you have any further questions which to discuss these issues, please feel free to email Carver at UNATCO and make an appointment. And welcome to UNATCO agents. So this is what I was talking about with. I just wanted to read that because it's what I'm talking about with Anna Navarra and Gunther being a little snarky towards you and a little bitter, like those offhanded comments about stuff, like bigger because it's all let's read this too. I need to take a drink of water, but yeah, they are kind of mean because they're jealous of JC and Paul, and that comes up more as the game goes on. Classification. The UN had 9 levels of security above top secret. This manual and material is not otherwise marked as classified as Angel 0A. If you are not Angel 0A or above, report immediately to your supervisor or face disciplinary action. Other classifications will be explained upon reaching higher clearance. In its efforts to combat terrorism, the UN has created UNATCO for the swift development of a coordinated force to counteract any insurgent operations. You are justifiably proud to be part of this organization. Your physical capabilities place you within the upper 1% by national ground combat units. Your mental capabilities have been honed to sharpness by UNATCO Academy. I don't believe that when it comes to these troopers. You'll see. They're not very smart. But as part of a larger organization, you understand the necessity of heed orders from your superiors without hesitation. Your superiors are typically briefed on matters for which you may not be cleared. Hesitation on the part of the occasion can result in serious impairment of the mission objectives and attendant casualties. UNATCO has faith in you, but this faith will be rewarded in time as your operational capacities are increased. Brave the darkness and you carry the torch of freedom. So this is all very propaganda sounding, isn't it? Telling you to heed orders and obey your superiors. Carrying out your duties, UNATCO agents actually come in contact with the public. You are a peacekeeper, and your first objective is to safeguard human life. Though terrorists may seem an advantage in harming civilians, UNATCO agents do not. Issue a warning before firing a suspect and always instruct bystanders to get down on the ground. Refrain from firing in large crowds. Every civilian hurt is collateral damage. However, keep in mind that no civilian with a clearance below Angel OA should be trusted and may be a potential spy. Anyone can be a spy, and secrecy is our ally. Remember, we're all in this together. Yeah, geez, the brainwashing propaganda is real. And speaking of which, let's do one more thing while we're here. We have goals notes. We have Manderley's login. His password is knight_killer J Manderley. Let's do that. You can also hack his computer to find that out. But let's see what Mr. Manderley's got for emails. From G. Herman, Skull Gun. May I suggest again a school gun for my head? Yesterday in Battery Park, some scum we all know pushes smack for the NSF, gets jumpy and draws. I take 222s in the flesh, in the arms, before I can get out that damn assault gun. If I could just kill, just by thought, it would be better. It is my job to be a human target Is it my job to be a human target practice backstop? Yeah. He also copied Anna Navarra on this, which is interesting, because she's his, buddy. Who's this? WS. Should be arriving soon. Clear it for Domination S5F. Ops as soon as possible, but proceed with caution. We have serious concerns about the primary unit. Would like to avoid any potential contamination. So we'll keep an eye on Manderley's login as the game progresses and check his email, because we might learn something. Something interesting. The closet is locked. Needs 3 picks. These need 3 picks. I don't know. I don't really plan on trying to break open locks right now. I think there's some stuff in those I want. But, yeah. I don't have a lot of lock picks. We're not going to start picking all the locks. I thought these weren't that hard to get into. Jeez. I have 3 lock picks. I could get in there, but I don't want to do that right now. We'll go see our friends in the medical department and everybody else we're supposed to check out with down the stairs. I like this texture for the floor. I wish it wasn't so dark. I'm going to double check that I've turned the brightness up. I might need to turn the brightness up of my computer. No, it's up all the way. Yeah. Oh well. I love these little cleaning mouse robots. Let's do this real quick because this lady's funny. She has more stuff to say, but I wanted to do that. The weird texturing of the mirror from a distance. It's kind of weird. Some cigarettes in here, but I don't think there's anything else other than that. This isn't the... But let's, there. You can have that. Let's go... Do you really have a shift? Let's go see this buddy first in the computer operations. Also, he's got candy bars and soda. Do I have room for sodas? No. He's got some stuff to read, but let's go talk to our buddy here. He has a lot to say, I think. No, he's our man in the chair. Yeah, okay, we've already seen that. Let's read all your articles, little pinball. Also, where is it? Isn't there? Is it in his? It's in here. We have to hack that in order to get in there. So let's see what's he got. G. Herman password to Zeitgeist. Next week it'll be, I guess it'll be Schadenfreude. Strange guy. We can look at Gunther's emails now. Gray Death, look to the sky. New York. No student face of recent history can fail to miss the irony of the greatest enemy of mankind has faced the 21st century was not any despot or dictator, but the lowly microbe. Millions upon millions have been killed by the pandemic. Well, pandemics of AIDS, resistant tuberculosis, and the century flu. And now we face our greatest threat yet, the Grey Death, a plague of devastating efficiency that has surfaced in the last years. How was this plague an accident of nature or design of science? Dr. Kenji Ishii of the New World Biomedical Health Center in New York thinks not. My analysis of this plague indicates that it's decidedly unnatural in origin and a point of fact may be extraterrestrial. He went on to speculate about those afflicted. Obviously, a disproportionate number of the indigent seem to be affected, a situation that makes perfect sense if you consider a prelude to an invasion. No more effective way to disrupt the social, political, and military fabric of Earth has yet been devised. If that's so, then where are our leaders not telling us, and how can we be prepared? Only they know the answers. Joe Green, senior staff writer. So, the plague, the pandemic, interesting stuff there as well. Domination 5F clearance only. The noted failure of previous attempts to create a low profile. This is the thing about, yeah, we read that already. Resource trade, so. How about G. Herman, Zeitgeist, Skullgun. I have personally forwarded your request to appropriations. Upgrading your combat readiness is an ongoing priority. Speaking of which, you certainly made the best of a difficult situation yesterday. We applaud your courage. Thank you for living to work another day, Gunther. We need more agents like you. He got a reply from Anderley on that. I was asked by the regional medical coordinator to forward this information to all of you. Do so without further comment. So he sent this. By now, you've heard about the upcoming transition to nano-augmentation. It's coming, but not as soon as you think. UNATCO has only one nano-augmented agent, with the second just now graduating from the academy. It will be years before the program leaves the laboratory. Your mechanical augmentations are not obsolete. Some agents expressed concern that they will be walking junk in 10 years. One agent expressed the fears of an anonymous email saying, "Will be sold at flea markets. Old grey golems for scaring the children. So what about my legs? What about my life?" Yeah, guess who that was, who can't spell. Because he's mostly German and only refuses to learn English. Keeps in perspective, prosthetics remain the only proven technology for enhancing human abilities. Those who make the sacrifice are appreciated, commended, and saluted as heroes. Our new recruit. J.C. Denton will be joining us today after a stint in the academy, and I'm assigning them both of you to the task of keeping a watchful eye on him while monitoring his progress. His assigned cover name for the duration of this service will be J.C. Denton. We thought it was best to keep the cover names within the family since Paul was already receiving the Denton code name. I have a great faith in both of you and trust you will do your utmost to ensure he becomes a successful and productive member of the organization. Until further notice, I'd like to receive weekly reports on your observations. So Manderley has them keeping tabs on us, which is interesting to know. How much they trust us. All interesting things. So we do need to break into Alex's little shed here. This is... Although I might be able to find the code for this if I look around. I don't remember. We'll see if we can get a code and come back. There's an important reason I want to do that. But let's go talk to our medical professional. Oh, wait. The Matsu Graves G4 is the newest addition to the MG line, the first foray into the medical bot category, largely monopolized by Page Industries and Chang subsidiary Healtech. Unlike the competing Page or Healtech units, the MG G4 benefits from a completely proprietary operating system developed at MG's research campus in Prague that promises to revolutionize automated healing by combining a comprehensive medical and pharmaceutical database with MG's already proven autonomous heuristic routines. While actual field data is sketchy at this point in time, anecdotal evidence suggests that GV4 can heal wounds far beyond the capabilities of any other competing model, though it does require a substantial recharging period. So this is just a bunch of, like, world building. Nano-augmentations, once installed irrevocably after the physiological system they affect, in many cases cause all subsequent augmentations to be rejected. However, the exact number of augmentations each system can support wanes. The various interdependencies between these systems can see in the following table. So these are all the different augmentations you can get throughout the game, which is interesting to know. Here's one of those heal robots they were talking about. We did this. We can upgrade our, with the canister we found in the place, with the NSF leader, we can upgrade one. We can nano-augment ourselves with these. Combat strength increases the effectiveness of melee weapons. But what I want is the arms. This increases strength. So we're going to install that. At level 1. Now I can use that to lift things better. So let's talk to our doctor, Jaime. Yeah. So I just did that. So it's interesting to me that Jaime doesn't know anymore. He also doesn't look very professional to me. He's just wearing jeans and a lab coat. I love his delivery regarding your systems. I am your physician. I am your physician. Does he? Origins of UNATCO. Yeah, we listened to it. We read this already. I think, yeah. Oh, maybe we didn't, actually. In recent years, the swelling tide of international terrorism, coupled with the enmity between states with wildly varying law, the enmity between states wildly varying laws, and an anachronistic devotion to arbitrary borders has resulted in the decreasing effectiveness of local law enforcement. To resolve the problem, a neutral agency was required to enforce international law in an impartial manner around the world. UNATCO was formed with such a mission in mind, an organization that could transcend national boundaries and provide security for all nations that subscribe to its charter. Founded with the principles of the United Nations as its cornerstone, UNATCO is fair, just, and protects the individual liberties of the citizens of the world. The criminal thrives on anonymity, but soon there will be no place for them to hide. Victory over terrorism is the price for our vigilance. Yeah, all this terrorism statement, this anti-terrorism statement stuff is just crazy to me. How much of that they predicted that was going to happen within a year of this game coming out. We have the key to this door because of him. So let's break in here, break into his single med kit that I want. Yeah, all that for one med kit, right? A guy, he's got a throwing knife. I don't need that. I seriously don't need that. I'm gonna get rid of some other stuff too because actually what we're gonna do is we're gonna get drunk right now. We're gonna get drunk on the job. So I've got inventory space. Nil eludes sickness quan. Yeah, anyway, I can't read Latin. Some actual really cool the stuff they went to, the levels they went to with this to show these augmentation charts. I thought that was Jaime. I thought he'd somehow gotten up. They don't want me to go in here, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay, I can't get in there yet. I will be able to get in there later. Anyway, he will always have a medical bot here that you can come for healing. Let's go see Sam Carter and get our pistol. That we don't really need all that badly. Armory. So I actually want more of these. Hey. Another door that I can't get into even though I really like to get to that robot. Let's see. Here's Anna Navarro's desk. Some darts, might as well take those. Let's talk to her again. Yeah. Well, let's take your bioelectric cell. Let's read this. Mass grave in Brooklyn. Responding to an outbreak of grave death that had quickly overwhelmed all city services, National Guard forces were placed. Thank you for that. Under the command of local law enforcement today and mobilized to help with the disposal of recently deceased in Brooklyn. However, the National Guard soon proved inadequate in containing the chaos, and in many cases the dead were simply left in the streets while the dying, mostly homeless, wandered the city until collapsing. Traffic jams and looting remain widespread, and the fear of the disease continues to escalate. Frequent riots have made any attempt to organize cleanup impossible. The threat of a secondary disease is looming. With the threat of secondary diseases looming, city officials have consulted the CDC in Atlanta in order to mass grave to be dug in Gateway National Park. So the CDC, that's interesting because they actually, that's one thing they got wrong. We actually turned against the CDC instead of embracing it. A way to go for coming down here. Yeah, this is their prison cells where they will keep people. We'll come. There's this guy. Now, the one thing, I think there might be keys under some of these desks. I think some of those rooms, I actually probably should get a lockpick because I think some of those rooms that are locked upstairs open up a lot more other rooms for us. Yeah. Yeah, we'll be seeing you again. But I want to go into Alex's secret low containment compartment here with my nanotech tech tool. So, now that we have the stealth pistol, I don't plan to use the regular pistol anymore. And I might actually put the scope. Can I scope the stealth pistol? I'm thinking about it. I'll consider it. There's another gun I want to see if I can put that scope on first. So I've got 5 of these. So let's break into here. I might use those lockpicks and break into one of those offices too. I'm pretty sure that's useful stuff that I can get out of that. Yeah. This is a... Oh, hey, we even got another lockpick out of doing this. Might have to rely on flares a bit more. Isn't this where I can find... Is that really all that I got out of this? Was just some ammo? And bioelectric cells? Isn't there... Well then where's the button? He's got a switch somewhere. I'm just gonna save it here just so I'm not... let's make a new save. It's important, but I don't want to waste all my bioelectric energy doing this either. There's a reason I'm doing this. There's an important thing I have to find. Oh, we get the lamp. It's on one of these desks then. I thought it was in that closet. I might have to look it up, but there's a switch that opens a floor hatch here that we need to go into because there's good stuff in there. Always interact with everything you can interact with. Look for the secrets. Look for the hidden. How do I crouch again? X. Let's look around at ground level. Where was it? I don't remember. Huh. I'm gonna have to look this up and come back some other time, but there should be a secret switch that is very beneficial to our overall being able to get stuff, get weapons and stuff. Maybe I can't open it right now. I don't know. Maybe there's a reason that I can't do this. We're in the very basic stages of the game here, so I'm gonna go though and continue and actually. Oh, let's turn that off. Waste more energy. You could also turn the lights on. That helps, right? Yeah. I'll look it up. We'll be back here again in the future, so we can always go in there then. I'm gonna go break into one of those offices upstairs because I feel like that's necessary. I just gotta decide which one I want to do. I'll be getting plenty more lockpicks and such. Let's see. That one's got a weapon mod, but I think this one has a key. One of them has a key in it. We're gonna save it just to make sure. They do. Yeah, they certainly do. Yeah, unlocking this stuff and getting into these rooms is important. Yeah, this was going to be a little bit of a longer episode. I probably won't be recording one of these for a little while. There'll be stuff to do. Accuracy mod. I need that. Let's read these books. UNATCO in the press. Because the UNATCO will often deal with situations that cannot be easily contained, agents may unfortunately need to interact with the press. If you're not trained in such interaction, do not speak with journalists, regardless of nationality. They are skilled in misdirection and propaganda. Refuse to comment. Remember, security procedures are the first line of defense. Secrets are lives. Always refer to reporters at the crime scene, UNATCO information officers, and fact management teams. Yes, this is the one I was looking for. Office door key code. Here we go. U.S. Press sells out. New York President Philip Riley Meade's executive order repaying the United States debts to the United Nations is viewed by many as a positive step towards global peace, but others sense darker motives at work. Some sources have privately commented the order is nothing more than a tacit endorsement of a new world government as private military. The United Nations Anti-Terrorist Coalition. Yeah, there it is. United Nations Anti-Terrorist Coalition, UNATCO. Few can forget Meade's impassioned declaration that the shattered Statue of Liberty would not be repaired, and instead stands as a reminder that terrorism must be eradicated if we are to be free. It will be shortly thereafter that Liberty Island was selected as the location of the UNATCO headquarters, a dubious charter highlighted by the mysterious, still largely unexplained circumstances behind the statue bombing. No doubt President Meade's words will be remembered even as he sells out his country to the foreign powers that have sought to destroy it with nearly 3 centuries. Joe Green, senior staff writer. So, there's some more information for you about the president selling out. Yeah. Yeah, see, we can get that key to get in here and get in our lockpick. And then, do you have a key in here also? No. They have one of these though. They have a basketball, which is important. So can I can continue to boost the accuracy of my sniper rifle, which is what I want. Oh, I could have tried to use that on the... We're going to drop the pepper cartridge. We're not using that. I'll tell you right now. We're never going to use this. I'm probably going to drop more stuff as I go along. I'm not going to use this baton. I'm probably not going to use the prod charger. I'm going to try to remember to use the PS20, that thing. Everything else, I'm probably not. I'm going to have to make some decisions about stuff as we go on here, but... Anyway, I want to play basketball. Play a little b-ball. I'm doing that now. I don't have the closet keys right now. Oh, I do. That key does open these. Okay, that's a... Yeah, no. Yes. That key in there is the best key. Pepper cartridge. Great. All that for that. I like to mess around in these places. Now, there's another thing there. I don't think that does much. Well, Manderley wanted to talk to us after we'd already checked in with these people, so let's get our briefing and find out where we're going next. So that's our mission, to go to shut down the one illicit generating plant. But I can't stop. The stuff Manderley says is remixed into a funny song, and I can't stop hearing it. Get pills against my orders. Get moving. Yeah, we'll meet up in the city, Paul. Yeah, she's also spying on me for you, Manderley. Well, we're about ready to meet up in the city, so we're gonna get ready for our mission. Do you have anything else to say? I bet they are. I'm not gonna close your door. You people all close your doors on your own anyway. I did about, let's see, this key I have doesn't open this case in here, does it, by any chance? No, I don't have the key to that. It only takes 2 picks. We can reduce these amount of picks if we upgrade our lockpicking skill later. Speaking of which, before we quit, let's do that too. Let's check our skills. I'm up to 3490, which is just a little bit short of... No, it's enough. I could upgrade my rifle skill. We want to upgrade our rifle skill. I could also upgrade lockpicking. But what did I get? I got computer? No, I want to upgrade rifle skill. There. Now I have advanced rifle skill too, which means sniping will be easier. And that's what I want. So, JC, you need to be the basketball man you always dreamed of. And we'll see you all next time.